The End of the Universe, Buddhism's Insight on Cosmic Cycles. Part 1. The Vastness of Time, Our Place in the Cosmos. Consider the night sky. Really look at it. Not just a glance, but a deep, sustained gaze. Have you felt that sense of smallness? A humbling awareness that we are tiny threads woven into a tapestry of immense size and age. It stretches far beyond the worries and routines of our daily lives. But what is this vastness that surrounds us? Does it have a limit? A beginning? An end? Buddhism offers a perspective on time that goes far beyond our usual clocks and calendars. It doesn't measure in seconds, days, or even centuries. It speaks of kalpas. Kalpa is a concept that challenges our very ability to comprehend duration. It represents an eon of time so incredibly vast that it's almost beyond human imagining. Let's try to grasp it with an analogy. Picture a colossal mountain of solid rock, the hardest granite, standing miles high. Every 100 years, a tiny bird, no bigger than your hand, flies by this mountain. As it passes, it brushes the rock once with the very tip of a single feather on its wing. The amount of time it would take for that delicate feather, brushing just once a century, to completely erode that entire mountain down to nothing. That is one kalpa. It's a timescale that makes even the longest human lifespans seem like the blink of an eye. The Buddha, in the Samyutta Nikaya, addressed the immensity of these time periods. He emphasized that a kalpa, is truly profoundly long. He said it's not something you can count in years or centuries or even hundreds of thousands of years. It's simply beyond those conventional measures. He used analogies like this to try and convey the sheer scale, because ordinary numbers fail us. Now let's connect this ancient wisdom with modern science. Cosmologists, scientists who study the universe's origins and evolution, talk about the Big Bang, the moment, roughly 13.8 billion years ago, when the universe as we know it began. That's an enormous number, difficult to truly fathom. But what's fascinating is that both Buddhism, with its concept of kalpas, and modern science, with its calculations of billions of years, are pointing to the same fundamental truth. We exist within a framework of time that is almost incomprehensibly vast. Both perspectives, in their own way, remind us of the immense age of the cosmos and our place within it. But there's another essential Buddhist concept that's interwoven with this vastness of time. Anicca. This Pali word is often translated as impermanence. But it's more than just a word. It's a fundamental principle. It states that everything changes, without exception. From the smallest subatomic particle vibrating within your body to the largest, most distant galaxy swirling in the depths of space, nothing remains static. Everything is in a state of continuous flux, a constant flow of arising and passing away. Observe a flower. It emerges from a tiny seed, grows, blossoms into vibrant beauty, and then it surely withers and fades. Stars, those seemingly eternal points of light, are born from swirling clouds of cosmic gas and dust. They burn brightly, radiating energy for millions, even billions of years. But even they eventually exhaust their fuel, collapse, and sometimes explode in spectacular supernovas. A flowing river, a changing weather. Everything follows. Change is the only constant. So here's the crucial question. How can we find peace, stability, and meaning In a universe that is perpetually in motion, constantly changing, how can we navigate a reality where everything we know, everything we are attached to, is ultimately temporary? The Buddha's teaching provides an answer. It's not about clinging to things, trying to hold on to what is inherently fleeting. That's a recipe for suffering. True peace, true understanding, comes from accepting anicca, from deeply recognizing that change is the fundamental nature of reality. It's about finding a sense of equanimity, a balance within the ceaseless flow of existence. It's about recognizing our place in this vast, ancient, and ever-changing cosmos, not with fear, but with a sense of wonder and acceptance. Part 2. The 4 stages: creation, duration, destruction, nothingness. So, if everything changes, if even the vastest stretches of time measured in kalpas are ultimately impermanent, what does that mean for the universe itself? Does it have a beginning and an end? Or is there something more to the story? Buddhism offers a fascinating perspective. The universe isn't a linear progression, but a cyclical one. It moves through distinct stages, not just once, but repeatedly, in an endless rhythm. These stages are formation, duration, destruction, and nothingness. Or, to put it simply, coming to be, lasting, going away, and the space between. Let's start with formation. This is the period when the universe, as we understand it, begins to take shape. It's not about a creator god waving a magic wand. Buddhist philosophy describes it as a natural process, a coming together of elements and energies. The Visuddhimagga, a significant Buddhist text, offers a poetic description of this. It speaks of winds beginning to stir in the great emptiness, gradually forming the basic elements, like water, and eventually, the complex structures of the world system take shape. If we turn to science, we find a remarkable parallel in the Big Bang theory. Scientists describe the universe expanding from an incredibly small, dense state, a singularity. This expansion, this unfolding, mirrors the Buddhist idea of aggregates forming and realms arising. Next comes duration. This is the stage where the universe exists in a relatively stable state. Stars shine, galaxies spin, and planets orbit. In the Buddhist context, this is when worlds flourish, beings live and experience life, and importantly, the Dharma, the teachings of the Buddha, can be taught and practiced. It's a time of relative equilibrium. From a scientific perspective, this corresponds to the current state of our universe. We see galaxies, stars, and planets all interacting in a relatively stable cosmic dance. It's the period we're living in right now. But, as we know from the principle of anicca, nothing lasts forever. The stage of destruction will follow. This is when the universe begins to decline. It's a gradual process of contraction and decay. In Buddhist cosmology, this is described as realms shrinking, beings experiencing increased suffering, and the Dharma becoming harder to find and understand. The Aggañña Sutta talks about this cyclical decline. It describes a time when the world contracts, and beings are reborn in different realms, often less favorable ones. It's a depiction of the winding down of a cosmic cycle. Science also has its theories about how the universe might end. There's the Big Crunch, where gravity eventually pulls everything back together into a singularity. There's the Big Rip, where the expansion of the universe accelerates so much that everything is torn apart. And there's heat death, where the universe reaches a state of maximum entropy and no more energy is available to do work. These are different scenarios, but they all point to the same underlying idea. The universe, as we know it, will not last indefinitely. Finally, there's nothingness. This isn't absolute nothingness in the Buddhist view. It's not a complete void. It's more like a state of potentiality, a resting period before the next cycle begins. Think of it as the empty space in a field after the harvest, containing the seeds for the next crop. The seeds of the next universe, the karmic potential, remain. Science touches on this too, with concepts like quantum fluctuations. These are tiny, spontaneous changes in energy that can occur even in seemingly empty space. It suggests that even in what appears to be nothing, there's still the possibility of something new arising. The key takeaway here is the cyclical nature of everything. From our own breath, inhaling and exhaling, to the grand cosmic scale of the universe itself, everything goes through these stages of arising, lasting, fading, and the space between. Recognizing this, finding peace and balance, is about understanding these cycles and aligning with this flow of existence. It is not about fearing the end, but about appreciating the unfolding of each stage. Part 3. Life and Death in the Cosmos, a Buddhist Perspective. We've seen how the universe itself goes through vast cycles of coming to be, lasting, and fading away. But what about the life within that universe? Our lives. Do these grand cosmic cycles have anything to teach us about our own existence, about living and dying? Consider the breath. Each inhale is a small beginning, a coming into being. Each exhale is a letting go, a small ending. We breathe in, we breathe out, constantly, from our first moment to our last. This simple, rhythmic cycle mirrors the larger patterns of the cosmos. One of the central teachings of Buddhism is the preciousness of human life. This isn't about human life being inherently better than other forms of life. It's about the unique opportunity that a human birth presents. It's considered a rare and valuable chance to learn, to grow in wisdom, and to potentially reach enlightenment, to break free from the cycle of suffering and rebirth. The Dhammapada, a collection of verses spoken by the Buddha, puts it this way: "Hard is it to be born a human. Hard is the life of mortals." This isn't a statement of pessimism. It's an encouragement to appreciate the present, to recognize that these circumstances, our ability to reason, to learn, to practice the Dharma, are not guaranteed. They are precious and fleeting. So, how do we live in a way that makes the most of this precious opportunity, especially knowing that we, like everything else in the universe, are subject to change and impermanence? A key teaching is equanimity, upekkha. This means cultivating a balanced mind, meeting both pleasant and unpleasant experiences without clinging to one and rejecting the other. Think of it like a tree in a storm. A rigid tree, unable to bend, might break in strong winds. But a tree that can sway, that can yield to the force of the wind, is more likely to survive. Equanimity is like that flexibility, that ability to adapt to the changing conditions of life without being overwhelmed. Or think about a seasoned sailor. They know how to adjust to the waves, not resist the power of the sea. A major source of suffering, according to the Buddha's teachings, is the fear of death. This fear often arises from our attachment to a sense of a permanent, unchanging self, an I that we believe will be annihilated at death. But the Buddhist concept of anatta, or non-self, offers a different perspective. It suggests that there is no fixed, solid self that persists from one moment to the next. What we call I is a constantly changing collection of physical and mental processes. Understanding anatta can profoundly reduce the fear of death, because we see that what we call death is simply another transition, another shift in the ongoing flow of existence. This understanding doesn't diminish the value of life. Instead, it allows us to approach both life and death with greater peace, acceptance, and even a sense of freedom. It frees us to focus on living a meaningful life now, in this present moment. And what constitutes a meaningful life, according to Buddhism? It involves cultivating mindfulness, paying close, non-judgmental attention to the present moment, to our thoughts, feelings, and sensations. It involves developing compassion, extending kindness and understanding to ourselves and to all other beings, recognizing our interconnectedness. And it involves living with purpose, aligning our actions with our values, and striving towards goals that benefit not just ourselves, but also others. Through the cultivation of these qualities, one can have a sense of self-worth. The core message here is one of profound appreciation. Appreciating the preciousness of this life, this unique opportunity to awaken, to grow, and to connect with others. It's about finding meaning, not in resisting the flow of change that will surely happen, but in embracing it, in living fully and intentionally in each moment, and in cultivating qualities that contribute to the well-being of ourselves and all beings within this vast and ever-changing cosmos. Part 4. Finding Meaning in a Transient Universe. Given that everything is impermanent, that even our precious human life is a fleeting moment within vast cosmic cycles, how do we find meaning? Where do we look for purpose in a universe that's constantly changing? The answer, according to Buddhism, isn't found in searching for something permanent outside of ourselves. It's found in turning our attention inward to the present moment. The past is gone. It's just a memory. The future is uncertain. It's just a possibility. The only time we truly have, the only time we can actually live, is now. This is where the practice of mindfulness, sati, becomes so vital. Mindfulness is about paying attention, on purpose, to the present moment, without judgment. It's about fully experiencing what's happening right now, the sensations in our body, the thoughts passing through our mind, the sounds around us, without getting caught up in stories or worries about the past or future. Thich Nhat Hanh, a renowned Zen master, beautifully expressed this. The present moment is the only moment available to us, and it is the door to all moments. It's in the present that we find true connection, true aliveness. But mindfulness isn't just about paying attention to our own internal experience. It also extends outward to our connection with others. Buddhism emphasizes the principle of interconnectedness, the understanding that we are all part of the same web of existence, deeply connected to each other and to the world around us. This means that the suffering of others is, in a very real sense, our suffering. And conversely, the happiness of others contributes to our own happiness. Acting with compassion, karuna, becomes a natural expression of this understanding. Compassion is about extending kindness, empathy, and a genuine desire to alleviate suffering to all beings. The Metta Sutta contains a powerful image. Just as a mother would protect her only child at the risk of her own life, even so, let one cultivate a boundless heart towards all beings. This isn't just a sentimental idea. It's a radical practice, a way of actively cultivating a sense of connection and care that extends beyond our usual circle of family and friends. Living a meaningful life, then, isn't about finding some grand, ultimate purpose out there in the vastness of the universe. It's about cultivating presence, connection, and compassion here and now. It's about showing up fully for our lives, moment by moment, and acting in ways that contribute to the well-being of ourselves and all beings. It's about recognizing that even within a transient universe, our actions have consequences. They ripple outwards, creating the conditions for future experiences. By focusing on the present, practicing mindfulness, and cultivating compassion, we create a life of meaning, not in spite of impermanence, but because of it. We find peace in the flow, not in resisting it. Part 5. Beyond the End. Rebirth and the Cycle Continues. We've considered the vastness of time, the cycles of the universe, and how to find meaning within impermanence. But what about after? What happens when this life ends? Does Buddhism offer any insight into what, if anything, lies beyond death, both for us and for the cosmos itself? The Buddhist concept of rebirth offers a profound perspective. It's crucial to understand that rebirth in the Buddhist context isn't the same as reincarnation as it's commonly understood. Reincarnation often implies a fixed, permanent soul moving from one body to another. Rebirth is different. It's more about the continuation of a process, the carrying forward of karmic energy, the consequences of our actions, intentions, and mental states. Think of it like an echo. A sound wave travels through the air, and when it encounters a surface, it bounces back, creating an echo. The echo isn't the same as the original sound, but it's directly caused by it. The characteristics of the original sound, its loudness, its pitch, determine the characteristics of the echo. Similarly, our actions, thoughts, and intentions throughout our lives create a kind of karmic resonance that continues after death, shaping the conditions for future experiences. It's not a soul that transmigrates, but a stream of cause and effect, a karmic imprint that continues. This cycle of birth, death, and rebirth isn't something to be celebrated or desired in itself. It's not inherently good. In fact, the cycle of rebirth, known as samsara, is characterized by dukkha, suffering, unsatisfactoriness, a fundamental sense of unease. This suffering isn't just about physical pain. It includes mental anguish, frustration, and the inherent impermanence of all things. Rebirth, driven by craving and ignorance, perpetuates this suffering. It's like being caught on a wheel, constantly turning, without finding true rest. The goal, then, isn't to achieve a better rebirth. The ultimate aim of Buddhist practice is to escape the cycle of rebirth altogether. This state of liberation is known as nirvana, nibbana in Pali. Nirvana is often misunderstood. It's not a heavenly realm, a place you go to after death. Nor is it simply nothingness, a complete annihilation. It's something far more profound. It's the complete cessation of suffering, the extinguishing of the fires of greed, hatred, and delusion, the root causes of dukkha. It's a state of perfect peace, profound wisdom, and boundless compassion. It's the ultimate goal of Buddhist practice, the complete liberation from the cycle of rebirth, the end of samsara. Now, let's connect this back to the grand cosmic cycles we discussed earlier. Even when a universe reaches its end, when it goes through the stage of destruction, and enters that period of apparent nothingness, the potential for rebirth, the karmic seeds, so to speak, don't disappear. They remain, carried forward, like dormant seeds, waiting for the right conditions to sprout. They are ready to unfold again when the conditions are ripe for a new universe to form, for a new cycle to begin. Science, with its focus on the observable and measurable, can't definitively prove or disprove the concept of rebirth. It operates in a different domain. However, the underlying idea of cycles, of patterns repeating themselves, does have some resonance with scientific principles like the conservation of energy. This principle states that energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed from one form to another. While not a direct parallel, it does hint at the possibility of continuity, even in the face of apparent endings. The Buddha's last recorded words, found in the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, provide a powerful and fitting conclusion to our exploration. All conditioned things are subject to decay. Strive with diligence. This is both a reminder of the fundamental impermanence of all things, including our own lives and even the universe itself, and a powerful encouragement. It urges us to make the most of this precious human life, to cultivate wisdom and compassion, and to strive diligently towards liberation, towards freedom from suffering. The end may come, for us individually and for the cosmos, but the potential for awakening, for breaking free from the cycle, remains.